Hey, and we're back. All right, here we are. Sean al-Shatti, Danny Segura, Luke Thomas, After the Beat. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We have screened your questions. Again, using the MMA Beat hashtag. We appreciate all of your submissions, so thank you for doing that. Gentlemen, I have some surprises for you, some good ones, some bad ones, some everything in between. So thanks to everyone who submitted. Let's get this going, shall we?
First time, long time. I'm excited.
Yes, it is. Are either Rashad Evans or Johny Hendricks, we'll start with you, Danny Segura, worthy of the Hall of Fame?
Rashad Evans, definitely, 100%, because just what he meant for the promotion. He headlined so many pay-per-views, tough champion. This guy undoubtedly deserves to be on the Hall of Fame. Johny Hendricks, it's a bit of a tricky situation because he did, by no means am I saying he didn't achieve greatness, but the amount of time he spent up top was so short compared to Rashad Evans and compared to these other guys that we've seen in the Hall of Fame, Tito Ortiz, you name it, that it's kind of difficult to gauge. My hunch is that no, but if he does make it, I wouldn't be surprised.
For me, there's two things that would qualify someone to be in the Hall of Fame. One, longevity. That would be probably the 100%. Best, right? Like if you have longevity at the top of this game, then I would say you're probably in. The other would be if you made a mark on the UFC, whether Ronda Rousey style, where it was only a couple years, but it was an indelible mark that will forever be remembered. Rashad makes it 100% for the longevity for the most part. I mean, he had a really long prime. The end of his career was what it was, but he had a really good prime. But also the mark. I mean, he was a star when they didn't have stars, or when they were lacking. I mean, they had some, but he was a good name for them at that time. I think he makes it in. I don't think Johny makes it in, though. I mean, he just his prime, his best wasn't long enough to really fit in there.
I really want to avoid a scenario where we just put in all champions.
Yeah, I agree.
And not to say
there needs to be some standard.
Right. It's not to say that not being a UFC champion is not remarkable. It's incredible, but it's the Hall of Fame. It's a level beyond merely attaining championship status. You know, you think about somebody else. Rashad didn't hold the title very long. Just the one fight, right, before he lost to Machida, I believe, or something like that. But Forrest Griffin didn't hold it very long, and he got in also for a variety of different reasons. But it's because, as you mentioned, maybe they didn't hold the title that long, but they did a lot with it. Johny didn't hold the title long either, but I don't know what else to say other than, yes, the
fights were great.
They were great, but there's a piece missing.
And is Jermaine Durand going to go in there because she was a Hall of Famer, right?
Great question.
At what point?
Yeah, so to me, just becoming a champion is not enough. What's next? Okay, name 3 fighters people are sleeping on. Thanks. This is from the...
Put me on the spot.
This is from Blackman USA, at Blackman. This dude tweets me constantly about, like, terrible things people are doing. He's like, hey, did you see this guy? This one guy who beat up this guy in public. It's like, why are you sending this to me? I don't
like
know what
fighters or just random
No, anybody. Like
viral videos?
Yeah, like that one Marine who ran over people in the Charlottesville thing. He was like, hey, did you see this? I'm like... Yeah, I saw it. Like, why are you sending this to me? He just sends me these terrible things people do. I don't understand. In any event, since there's 3 of us, why don't you just name one? Start on the end. Anybody?
Start with you, Danny.
I don't know if people are exactly sleeping on this fighter, but I'll go in and say Paulo Costa. I mean, this guy hasn't really been on the headlines too often, but I mean, he's knocking people out left and right in his fights. He's from Brazil. He's been open about carrying that Brazil flag and becoming the next Brazilian legend. And he's so young, and I think he can do great things.
I'll go with James Vick. I feel like he is a guy who he's topical now because of what happened now with this Justin Gaethje fight, but he is a guy who I have long vouched for, deserved a shot sort of in this. The lightweight top 15 is so weird in that guys are just not willing to fight down a lot. And James Vick has been the victim of that. And so he's continually fought these guys who are maybe like 15 to 20 range, and he keeps getting these fights, and he can't just get this shot. And I'm very happy that he finally has this against Justin. I'm really looking forward to that.
Although it's one of those situations where, certainly James is an incredibly capable fighter, but I don't care who you are.
You're not going to have fun.
Careful what you wish for against that Terminator. So I'll just say one guy that I did a Monday Morning Analyst on for a while ago, and dude, there's all these guys coming out of ACB. I just feel like they are creating a cavalcade of murderers. Askar Askarov, he's a deaf guy. Those guys can wrestle. They have grit. They can submit. They can control. They can do a lot. So I would say really look at any of the top fighters coming out of ACB, but shouts to Askar Askarov, which sounds like something like a place in Thor's Asgard. Isn't that what it's called? Asgard, yeah. All right, what's next? What are your most controversial opinions? I had to include this.
What does this mean?
All right, Sean, here's what I'm thinking.
Man.
You can make it about sports. It doesn't have to be about life.
Phoenix Suns 2022 champions.
No, we didn't say hot takes. We said controversial.
That's happening. I don't care whether y'all like it or not.
Do you have any controversial sports opinions?
Phoenix Suns have the best young core in the NBA.
Your Phoenix Suns homerism is
man.
disconcerting.
Look, I just need a title. You have one.
We have one now.
You don't have to feel this way now. I feel this way constantly, okay? Just give me one.
Do you have a controversial sports opinion?
Um,
Controversial opinion generally?
in general, I'll throw this one out there. People are usually shocked.
He's like, I
ready?
believe in murder. What?
That's actually what I was gonna.
Yeah.
Frozen yogurt over ice cream.
Ooh. That is a bit of, okay, explain yourself.
It just tastes so much better. You might know this. Have you ever tried kumis?
I have tried kumis, yes.
That's exactly what frozen yogurt reminds me of. Plain tart kumis.
I don't like kumis better than like
Like an actual ice cream.
real good ice cream. Are you talking about like ice cream that's like, you have to get the real kind with like
You're not
sugar
talking
and
about like
butter
Dairy
and shit.
Queen or something.
No. Legit ice cream, I prefer frozen yogurt. It's more refreshing. It's still sweet enough.
Now, here's a question. What do you, when you go to the store, when you pull like the little, you ever been to those things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you pull the little hammer or whatever, the nozzle, and then it comes out. What do you put on your frozen yogurt?
It depends what I'm feeling that day, but
Okay, let's say-
for the most part,
What are you feeling today?
I'd probably go like chocolate chips and
Any little candy bits?
No, I don't like hard candy all that much. Maybe throw in a little bit of fruit in there. Maybe
Dude, he is just like my wife. It's scary. It is scary. How when you get frozen
like
yogurt?
toffee.
Yeah, when you get frozen yogurt, what do you put in there?
Some toffee, maybe some Butterfinger. Something.
Butterfinger.
Yeah.
No, you know what I do? I get the sweetest shit possible. I'm like, get the birthday cake, peanut butter, and then I'll put I don't put a ton of candy in it, but I'll put like
Gummy bears.
No. See, that's the thing. I think if you put like a gummy or Swedish
That gets
fish.
hard.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah,
dumbass.
it gets hard, yeah.
Dumbasses put gummy bears in their frozen yogurt. You ever see somebody and they do that? Just like slap it out of their hand and be like, I'm here to protect you from yourself. But I put a little bit of Reese's Pieces on top.
Oh, there you go. That's a
Put
good
a little
one.
bit of that.
Not a huge fan of peanut butter.
No?
When I was,
Wait, what?
I'm Colombian. I don't grow up eating peanut butter. Like peanut
Who
butter's
doesn't
unheard
like
of in
peanut
Colombia.
butter?
Colombians.
You sicken me.
yeah,
I'd keep it any day over peanut butter.
a little disgusted.
Arequipe is sweet though.
Yeah.
Arequipe is like caramel.
Me and peanut butter go way back. When I had a telemarketing job when I was in high school, I used to buy Reese's Pieces every day and I'd
Oh my
spend the
God.
whole day
Deadly.
organizing them.
Yeah, deadly, dude. What's your, okay, before we go to the next one, what's your favorite, do you get candy at the movies or anything? What's your movie go-to? It doesn't have to be candy. What's your setup at the movie?
So I have to do, me and my girl are both have to do gluten-free because we're celiac. So a lot of the choices are removed. So usually it's some kind of like chocolate bar or some kind of candy bar. Or an icy. I'm all about my icy. I'm not gonna lie.
That's an interesting, I haven't had one of those in years, but that's
Get a little mix of both
I
flavors.
always go in icy and popcorn. Usually Coke icy, and then if I'm feeling a little adventurous, I might go for the little. What are those ice creams that come in the little squares?
Snow caps?
Dippin' Dots?
Dippin' Dots. Yeah.
Oh, those aren't even in business anymore, are
Are
they?
you sure? No.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they sell them at the movies. It's like a little red container.
so gross.
You open it up and it's gross. They're amazing.
Man, peanut butter's amazing.
Yeah, just serve me a
That's
jar
my
of
hot
peanut
take.
butter.
Peanut butter sucks.
If I go to your movie theater and you're serving red vines over Twizzlers, I hope you go out of business, number one. Number two, my setup is I get the large Coke Zero, and then I get I'll share with my wife a medium popcorn. That's the one I like. But here's the key, no butter. You can buy the salts back there. Have you seen that?
No.
So you can buy flavored salts, like you can buy nacho salt or
I did not know that.
cheddar salt.
Never heard of this.
So I buy the salts, that's what I get, and then I pour that on there.
Salts, so various salts.
Yes, there's all kinds of different salts.
So are you combining multiple
No.
types
The
of salts?
one salt, the one salt.
Okay.
Or I'll go to the movie theater that serves beer and just get tanked.
Well, that's the thing, right?
I don't think I've ever had
picture
beer.
of margarita.
Surprise! I drink at the movie theater.
Big picture of margarita or something.
Yeah. All right. What's next? All right. Now that the group stages, Danny, have nearly ended, who are your revised favorites to win the World Cup?
Colombia, baby.
You are such a homer. I hope they win, of course. No, seriously, who do you think?
Well, Belgium plays England, or is playing England right now.
yeah, but that's just to decide one or two in the
Yeah.
group.
Look, Croatia has looked amazing. I think this World Cup, and it's proven, it's not about talent. It's not about how stacked you are.
Team play.
It's about chemistry.
Yeah.
Look, Mexico has shown they have chemistry. Croatia has an incredible amount of chemistry. Belgium has both chemistry and talent. So I think I'm going to go with Belgium. For example, France hasn't really showed much chemistry.
Talent, no chemistry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brazil has shown they have some chemistry at some points, and they obviously have the talent, but there's been some times where they haven't shown consistency.
They'll go 40 minutes without them.
Yeah. And then at the end, just turn it up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with either Belgium or Croatia. For example, Colombia. I know their first game kind of tarnished the way they've been looking at the World
Carlos
Cup.
Sanchez.
Yeah, but man, did you see against Poland? That was all chemistry. They looked amazing.
Look at that.
So happy.
He's smiling about that the way you smiled about the Jones-DC rivalry.
Colombia all the way.
Are you following the World Cup at all?
As someone who has watched 0 minutes of this World Cup, I'm going to go ahead and go with my boy Guilherme. Brazil's going to win, and it's going to make him happy.
Very
Because
good.
I know last time he was very devastated.
Brazil has been my pick to win the whole thing. I agree with Danny's assessment. At times, they're just lighting people on fire, but at other times, it's like, I don't know.
And they got Mexico next, so.
They do. And by the way, you should watch the Croatia team because remember Stipe's old shorts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone has, every time I see the Croatian team play, I always think of, Krokop and.
Wouldn't it be
and
cool if
Stipe's
he could still wear those shorts?
Reebok, what are you doing? But yes, it's been incredible. So I would say I would agree with you. I won't pick Croatia, but I say Belgium and Brazil, the two Bs.
Your wife's not going to be happy.
And by the way, I have to apologize to England. I know. What are you going to No one in my family watches my work, so I'm actually off the hook.
There you go.
They don't see anything. I would say apologies to England fans. Before the whole tournament got started, I was like, here's England again. They're going to S the bed right in the group stage. And then Harry Kane has been looking amazing. The team's been looking really good. So apologies, England. I'm sorry, but there we are. All right, who do we have next? Okay, what is your single favorite offensive technique that, when executed well, gets you off of your feet? I personally love great leg kicks and feel like they are still undervalued from our friend Orange Ape, who is the hashtag king of Photoshop. Who wants to take that one first?
I'll go.
All right.
A nice dig to the body, a hook to the body.
Rib roaster?
Really just crushing the liver or the ribs. Oh, get out of seat.
Do you have any favorite rib roasting moments?
Oh man, you put me on the spot, probably not.
Yeah.
But if I thought about it, I do.
Do you have like a
Probably just any Nick Diaz highlight, just
Yeah, really getting it against the fence and going to town on that.
You know what it is? It didn't put him out, but one of my favorite rib roasters was Pete Sell.
Oh, that one. Where he like kind of
Who's the guy who he injured, then he ran into him, he knocked him out? Scott Smith.
Scott Smith.
Scott Smith.
But folks forget, like the shot that hurt Scott Smith. Everyone remembers Pete Sell running into it, but what they don't remember was Pete Sell hit him with a shot right to the rib cage, uncontested. And that's what Scott Smith was like, ugh. It was one of my all-time favorites. Also for liver shots, Bernard Hopkins sitting De La Hoya down.
Oh, that's
is one of my all-time favorites, yeah.
We're not talking about just striking, right?
Anything you want. Anything you want.
I'm a big fan of darts chokes. I love when people start, you see it coming. That's the
Sliding
worst
it in.
part.
Oh, man.
And the darts choke is a technique that there's several steps to it, so you can see it coming. And then the person on bottom can also see it coming. So it's a constant battle of
There's that tension of
of one guy is taking a step, the other guy bringing him a step down by doing one thing, and it's just constantly doing this, and you're like, oh, is he gonna get it? And as soon as that's locked, I mean, once you're deep, it's pretty much done. So I always like those battles.
Any favorite examples of a darts choke?
Dustin Poirier has always been amazing at catching those, especially early.
You don't mention Tony Ferguson, I swear to God.
Tony Ferguson, amazing.
Yeah, but Dustin Poirier is a low-key good call because he gets credit for being, he's tough, he's a good striker. He's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well.
And his dart chokes are on point. I'm not sure, did he get Max Holloway on a dart choke, or was that a guillotine?
Mounted triangle.
Mounted triangle, okay, that's what it was. He's had a few, for example, even involving the Dustin Poirier, Chan Sung Young versus Dustin Poirier. That one was beautiful, so I love whenever anybody snatches those.
It's hard to know where to go with this one. I'm not the biggest fan, believe it or not, of leg locks. People get all like, take my pants off and about leg locks. I don't get that way. I like them, don't get me wrong, but it feels to me like, I don't know, it's like being a knuckleballer or something. But it's like one of those things where it's like, you ever seen knuckleballers? They'll have a good day and they'll just throw at 45 miles an hour and they'll strike out a side, and then the next day they come in and they just get shellacked.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not fun for me. So I wouldn't say that. One of the things I've always been a big fan of, as I mentioned, liver shots. Shouts to Boz Rutan. But I like knees to the body of a grounded opponent. That has been always my favorite.
Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen.
That's a great one, but my favorite one is, and they can't do it anymore, Kevin Randleman doing the bop bop. Who was it on? It was...
That was to the head, right?
It was to the head, and he went, if you haven't ever seen it, I forget who it was, I think it was some Japanese guy, I can't remember anymore. He went, if he was this way, he went full vertical, and inside his verticality,
like
they dropped a 1-2 on this guy, hit him with the 2-piece. And it's just one of the most athletic, vicious. It's like, how is this a legal thing to do to another person?
Man. That needs to be legal. It opens up the game so much. If North-South becomes a viable position,
100%.
just crush people with knees.
North-South would be a nightmare.
Folks also...
It was in Pride. North-South was a death sentence in Pride.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. And folks forget also that the knees to the body St. Pierre did on Sarah. It made Sarah stop. He just kind of sat there and you know, could you blame him?
That was from Turtle?
It was from Turtle. Yeah. That's another one, because a lot of times
that
guys...
was a finish.
Yeah. A lot of times guys will get in Turtle and they have poor control, or, you know, not great control, or, you know, it's hard to hold another guy. Or they'll get them inside control and they'll want to keep their knee right by the hip to prevent, you know, or to exercise a greater degree of control. But the guys who can just ride it out, you know, and you can't go anywhere, and then they just start unloading knees to your rib cage. It's like, that has to be, can you imagine?
I can't.
It's like, I don't even like being tickled. And now I got to take some, you know, Russian machine driving his knee as hard as he can into the thing that protects my organs. No thanks. Anything else? Anything we want to give a shout out to? Flying arm bars are always great.
Flying.
Yeah, anything flying.
Anything spinning, flying.
You know what? I like guys who can jump guillotine well.
I was about to say, that was literally in my head.
I like guys
Brian
who can
Ortega jumping guillotine type of thing.
And that kind of thing always.
Readjusting in midair and stuff.
I'm not the biggest spinning back fist guy. But you know what I am? Spinning elbow.
Yeah.
I like the spinning elbow. Not the kind where you just do the full turn, but the kind where you like whip and then come back.
John Jones, Stephen Button.
That's a great one. Who's that kid? Ricardo something. He had like 2 R's for his first and last name. He hit the one. He was waiting. Oh, remember that Bellator knockout where the guy was coming? He hit the 1-2. The guy moved away, and then he met him with the elbow. It was just that kind of thing. I really like.
You got the spinning backhands too, like the Arlovsky Travis Brown, where he nailed it with the spinning backhand a couple of times.
Not even spinning. What he did was he threw the right and
then wrapped it around.
And then what happens normally? You go to like Dan Hardy, Carlos Condit. Then they chase with the opposite side hook. He didn't chase. He just missed with the right and then just decided to come back and was like, and in the words of Desus versus Mero, he was like, hold that. And he held it.
And just one more.
Yeah.
The Stockton slap in the fights.
Good call.
That is the best thing I've seen.
It's so
or at a grappling tournament.
So
or at a grappling tournament. Whatever. If you're in the stands at a grappling tournament, you never know if you might have to slap a guy.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Never change.
What is next for good question? Paul Felder, in your opinion, he has been kind of screwed twice. Will he get a big fight or a guy outside the top 12? This guy was on Twitter this morning talking about how just discouraging, and he was pissed. And could you possibly blame him for being pissed? He was supposed to fight Ally Quinta at UFC 213, and that got folded at the very last minute. And then he's supposed to fight James Vick, and that gets folded at the very last. Well, not quite the last minute, but
Ally Quinta's just ruining his life. Basically.
I mean, what's happening here? What do you guys think? How do you feel for Paul? And then what should be next?
I mean, I feel bad for him. I feel really bad for him because that was a fight against like a big name, basically. I mean, James Vick's not a big name, but it's a very worthy opponent. We all know where James Vick stands. Lightweight's pretty tied up right now. I don't know that he's going to get another guy like that, just to be honest. Especially if he wants a quick turnaround. Who's available? You have to feel really bad for him. Our cameraman, Casey, has been saying this all day on Twitter. What good are contracts if they're just able to break them willy-nilly like that? If you're a fighter, you really have
to. Who are you discussing?
If you're a fighter and you sign a contract to fight this guy, and then all of a sudden UFC just rips it out from under you. Yeah. There's no 2 ways. Yeah. It's very one-sided. I don't know. I just feel really bad for Paul Felder.
I've always liked, and I know this is not possible now because he's tied up with someone else, but I've always liked the matchup between Anthony Pettis and Paul Felder.
But they're teammates.
Oh, right, they do train in Milwaukee. So I guess, that
I mean, I agree that would be
that'd be a fantastic fight. Yeah. But I hope he gets, maybe not Anthony Pettis, of course, but someone with a name. I mean, if you're pulling 2 fights right underneath him, especially one so close, UFC 223 was the week of, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully he gets rewarded. Hopefully he gets paid for this, and at the same time, hopefully he gets a pretty good matchup that won't be pulled from him.
Kevin Lee would be good, but I don't think he'll get it.
Oof, that would be good.
He's like one of the only guys available.
Yeah.
But Kevin Lee's at that extra high space at this point, you know. I feel terrible for Paul Felder. A nice guy, a great analyst, a guy who could be doing television work and getting paid, but he can't do that because he wants to train.
Yeah.
And so now he's getting screwed three different directions. Now, my understanding is that event is not until the end of August, right? August 25th?
Something like that.
So there's still time to potentially get another opponent, right? Tickets went on sale today.
Yeah.
So there's time. It's just
It's gonna be one of those 15 to 25 ranked type of guys.
a guy who's tough as shit.
But you get nothing for beating him.
Yeah, the only thing you get is just your win bonus. Yay! All right, what's next? There's one more after this? This is the last one? Yeah, okay. All right, with the Bruce Willis roast happening this weekend on Comedy Central, who's a celebrity you'd like to see roasted next and in the future, other than Dana White? Who should be the first MMA person roasted? So it's two questions. Who's a celebrity you'd like to see roasted? Who's a MMA person or a member of the community you'd like to see roasted? Do you have no celebrity you want to see roasted?
I'll throw Donald Trump in there.
That's a good one. Oh, wow.
I think he already did, right?
Did he get roasted?
I think he had a Comedy Central roast. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like that happened.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, an updated one would be good.
I don't feel like he would handle it well.
Do you guys you not like roasts? Jesus.
No, I like
Those are
roast.
fun.
I don't know. I can't think of a
Really? You can't think of anybody you'd want to see roasted?
In MMA, I think it would be fun to see like a DC or a Bisping.
This is the easy DC Bisping.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll throw one in there. Conor McGregor.
Oh, that'd be
a good one.
So good. That'd be. You have to get somebody
The
powerful.
procession of people you could get.
Yeah,
to roast
because
him.
the reason why Conor McGregor's a great choice is because folks forget the roast works two ways. Number one, they get just absolutely skewered for however long, and then at the end they get a chance to do the skewering, right?
Yeah.
So Conor McGregor and everyone is up for grabs. Like no one's perfect. Everyone is easy to mock, especially if you're like a professional comedian doing it. So he'd get absolutely torched, and then he'd get up there and
He'd fire back.
he'd be killing people. So that's a great because you don't want to have somebody get there who's like real sensitive.
Yeah.
But it would be great. Well, I'm going to contradict myself, but I would just say this. I'd also like to see Kanye West roasted just to see how long he lasted. You know what I mean?
You'll walk out
I'll
like 10
probably
minutes
say a minute or so.
Yeah, he'd last. I think he would last. What would last longer? His participation in a roast of himself or the national anthem? I would take the national anthem would last longer.
I think so too.
Right?
Yeah.
If an MMA person, McGregor's a good one, White's a good one. Coker, I don't feel like is that great of a one.
I feel like maybe not roasted, but doing the roasting, Derek Lewis.
Oh,
That would be
He's
good.
got pop. He's got pop.
So he could be a guy. So for example, he could be the guy who they bring up to do the roasting.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Ripping people.
Yeah. I think honestly, people are gonna say, "No way, bro," but I think Colby Covington.
No way, bro.
You would like to see him get roasted, or
Yes, because it would go two ways. Now he'd be like, "Oh, well, he'd have."
I don't know if
scripted
he'd
lines.
be able to fire back though.
Scripted lines, of course he'd have.
Yeah,
a
he
million
would be
of
able
them.
to prepare
They
it.
know who's going to be on that
Okay,
on that
yeah, yeah,
dais.
They have time to prepare it.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, maybe he wouldn't come up with a good improv one or something like that. People sleep on him. Like, where are you in that whole Colby Covington thing? State your opinion.
It
Doesn't do it for you.
It doesn't do much for me. The really hardcore, trying to
makes
really
me
attach
laugh,
yourself to the hardcore right wingers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't do much.
I understand. That part doesn't do it for me either, and the Brazil antipathy
Yeah.
doesn't do it. But I have to say, and I've been very vocal about this, there's a part of me that people are like, well, he doesn't bother me at all. And by the way, I just can't wait to see him get his ass kicked.
Oh, well, what he's doing.
It's like the level of denial about the level of denial people are in about him is like shocking.
I mean, he's going to give Tyron his biggest fight.
Yeah.
Tyron's not had a bigger
yeah,
opponent.
and Tyron might come out like looking like a goddamn hero out of that thing.
I mean,
6 months ago, no one. It seemed as though the MMA fan base did not like Tyron Woodley, and now it seems
After the
as though
Maia
a
fight,
majority of them are going to be
I
rooting
mean, just
for Tyron Woodley.
look at who he faced before, RDA. RDA, he has a fan base and, very well-respected fighter, but he hasn't really been somebody that people are getting behind with and just sort of cheering him on.
He walked out of Chicago to like uproarious applause.
Yeah.
There's no celebrity you hate. I really want to nail this one down. Please tell me there's somebody you hate.
I don't. Kanye West will be fine. Trump will be fine. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to celebrity stuff. I guess.
I don't believe you. I don't believe your lies. No one else, Danny?
Trying to think, celebrity-wise,
We haven't picked any women. Is there any women that deserve to get roasted?
Ronda Rousey would be funny.
Oh,
no, that would end terribly. That would end terribly.
what a call that would be. Are you kidding me?
What lasts longer, the Rousey one or the West one?
Kanye. Wow, that's a great question.
I think the Kanye will probably last longer, maybe.
I don't know about that.
If the moment somebody mentions Holly Holm, I feel like it's over.
Oh, that's such a good. Oh my God, that's such a good one. Yeah. That wouldn't go well at all.
I think maybe John Jones would also be good because he also has good.
I feel like he has a good sense of humor about it.
He could be one of the two-way ones because he would get roasted for things he's done.
Daniel Cormier was trying to roast him, saying, you did all this, and he's like, yeah, I beat your ass after partying, and
Yeah.
So I think he's a quick guy.
Another guy who'd be good at the roasting, I think Kevin Lee would be pretty good. Kevin Lee,
he's
personal.
He'd be good.
He'd be real personal. So, anyone else we want to give a shout out to who'd be good at it, like the. Oh, you know who'd be good? Steven Espinosa. You see him mix it up on Twitter?
Nah,
Crushed it on Twitter.
Dude, you don't follow Steven Espinosa on Twitter?
No, I have to.
So Steven Espinosa, that's the one. For folks who may not remember, that's the guy that Conor McGregor called the Weasel from Showtime. And he's
ridiculous. That's
he's
his
out
legacy
there.
now.
So now it's Brendan Schaub plus Eddie Hearn. Excuse me, Brendan Schaub plus Steven Espinosa versus, actually plus Deontay Wilder versus Eddie Hearn. And they're just going back and forth and calling each other liars. And in the case of Wilder, every name under the sun. But, dude, he mixes it up with people on social media. I ask him all the time, like, why do you do that? He was like, I don't do it that much. I'm like, Steven, buddy, have you seen your timeline? It's just you throwing pies in everybody's face, which I don't mind.
Sure.
He used that Harvard education to great effect. But anyway.
Iaquinta, too.
Iaquinta!
Oh, there you go.
Did you see Gaethje and Iaquinta going back and forth?
I did.
Last night on Twitter?
Yeah.
In the comments section on a UFC tweet.
Iaquinta has one of the best Twitters.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And in the comment section, you had Gaethje being like, oh, that guy's this is Gaethje talking. That guy's a pussy. He's going to back out for any reason. And then Iaquinta comes in like, what was that from the player haters ball? He's like, pardon me, I got to go put water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish. And oh, by the way, you're going to end up brain dead and broke. I'm like, God damn, Pusha T, settle down. What are you doing?
Iaquinta would be good, too, because I feel like he's a guy who's going to get more riled up the more wild it gets, right? Like, if you talk to him for 5 minutes, he'll try to contain himself, but once he gets going, it's going.
You're right.
It's avalanche.
Yeah, he's all downhill with him. Yeah. All right, that's enough for this one. Sean, it's been great to have you, man.
It's been awesome.
I know. How long are you in town for?
Today.
That's it?
Yes.
You're out of town tonight?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a very important show.
And you're a very important member of the team. Thank you for coming all this way.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Anything you want to plug, your Twitter, anything like that? Because I feel like you don't get a chance to be on this very often.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, well, put his lower third up. You can go give him a follow on Twitter. He does incredible work. So we appreciate you guys watching. There it is, at Sean al-Shatti. Very good. Yes, thank you very much for the folks in the back for the quick reactions. We're wasting time, so let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. For Sean, for Danny, I'm Luke. We'll be back soon enough. And until then, hands up, chin down, let them fly. This is the MMA Beat.